The collapse of FTX is old news at this point, but the cryptos associated with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, well, those are collapsing as well. One thing that FTX did with a lot of these cryptos is they would get or obtain some sort of supply of the crypto, use the customer funds to pump up the valuation, take that of their balance sheet, and go get USD loans for it. And somehow nobody ever questioned if these cryptos actually had the value that FTX said they did. But we can see a lot of these FTX backed projects plunge as Sam coins underperform. A lot of these coins that were associated with the FTX brand and Sam Bankman-Fried are falling, not only because of what's happening with SBF being arrested, FTX collapsing, but also with FTX holding insane amounts of these cryptos that they now have to sell off. And that has been happening with cryptos being sold off or being transferred into Bitcoin and people bringing it off the platform, probably insiders like the hacker and stuff. So a lot of things going on at FTX right now, and the bankruptcy probably only going to push these prices even lower if they even possible. But we can see these are the Sam coins. So the 3-month history compared to something like a Bitcoin. And you can see all of them severely underperforming Bitcoin. A lot of them down massive percents. The best case here is Ren down 40% for the last 3 months. Solana down 70. Serum down almost 80 or a little over 80. And FTT basically worthless. Don't even know why people are still trading that because it still has volume. But here we are. Massive, massive drops for these cryptos that are associated with this guy right here. So for Solana, Sam Bankman-Fried was a main backer of the smart contract focused protocol Solana, whose native token SOL is down almost 95% against the dollar year to date. FTX had purchased more than 58 million SOL tokens from the Solana Foundation and Solana Labs starting in August 2020. So they already had massive buys of Solana. They were a big backer of it for whatever reason, and they used it to get other loans in their balance sheet. But if we look at Solana's price here, this is the chart of Solana, and you can see the massive spike here in 2020, August 2020. So all the way back here. So $3 was when these guys were loading up on Solana, and you can see the massive run up here. So not only did FTX continue pumping this, it was obviously a crypto bull market, and then they were probably feeling extremely good. And had the bull market never stopped, maybe the fraud at FTX keeps going on for a couple more years. But obviously, this massive, massive downtrend puts a complete stop to that and makes everyone wake up to reality. But out of all the tokens, Solana, at least chart-wise, at least looks kind of normal-ish. Obviously a massive spike here and a massive run up from whatever you want to call it, but at least it kind of has this massive run up and then the complete collapse down. When another project, Serum, they had Serum, the protocol Serum's native token was a large position at Alameda on their balance sheet, valued at $2.2 billion before the proprietary trading firms collapsed. The company minted a cumulative 100 million SRM between February and May, increasing the token's total supply by some 60%. So for Serum, it doesn't look like that they took on a massive position, that maybe they funded some sort of research or some sort of like facility for this token. But from what this says, the company minted a cumulative 100 million SRM. That reads like they just printed it out of thin air, put it on their balance sheet, and then magically had $2.2 billion that they could show for it, and then go out and get a loan for real money. And if we look at Serum's chart, this is where it gets a little weird, because a lot of these charts start to look exactly like this, where you have this move, the first spike up, absolute crash, another spike up, back to the crash. So they're weird because they all look like that, and except for Solana, which has just the spike and then the collapse, all of them are very similar to this right here with a double spike and collapse ending. But Serum is down like over 96% for the year, so basically crashing to worthlessness. It's absolutely insane the valuation that these got to because of FTX's pumping abilities. But a lot of people are on the train that, it doesn't matter. This is the Amazon of the .com bubble. Some people in Solana are saying, is Solana the Amazon of the .com bubble? And all you really got to say to that, if you are hoping for something to happen, then you are going to probably lose that investment. If you are investing in hope, that's not a great strategy. Now, I will say, obviously, the competition for smart contract operators like Ethereum and Solana, I guess you can call Solana that, would be opened up, because Ethereum used to be the top dog. They were really up there because people loved that it was decentralized, but the move to proof of stake from Ethereum's side has opened the door to all of these competitors to compete for this market cap and market share. And maybe Ethereum loses some market share to something like Solana because they want it to be faster, cheaper, and Solana can offer that. And Solana, very centralized. We've seen it shut down before. But Ethereum, with the move to proof of stake, also becoming much more centralized. But for the final token that FTX is kind of associated with here that has absolutely been devastated, that would be Ren right here. And the team said, in addition to this renewed focus, the Ren team will also be working with Alameda to continue development on its top priority, reaching the next phase of decentralization, which is just great because they teamed up with this Alameda, gave them probably a bunch of coins. They put on their balance sheet, rinse and repeat their same process. But ultimately, Alameda was just fraudulent, end up collapsing. And because these guys put their name on Alameda, they are collapsing too. Ren, I think, is down 88%, somewhere in that ballpark. So a little bit better than the other ones. Not quite at the 90% plus yet, but basically there. And for the Ren price, you can see the exact same thing here. Spike, crash, spike, crash. So it's weird that they do line up like that. Like Ren has the exact same kind of look as something like Serum, right? Spike, crash, spike, crash. So, you know, they look very, very, very similar. And the only other coins that kind of did that was something like Bitcoin, which is maybe the overall market here, where you see they had the spike crash type thing happening. If you look all time, you had a spike to crash to spike to new all-time highs, though, and then a crash. And we know there was massive speculation. Ethereum right here didn't have a massive spike, crash, spike. So Bitcoin had that kind of move. There was a lot more speculation even back then. But even Ethereum had the first spike with Bitcoin's first spike, and this was their second one, right? So it doesn't even look the same. So for all these other tokens to kind of be copying Bitcoin's thing, it's almost like when Bitcoin's value went up, the company behind all of these cryptos that had access to some Bitcoin would use that to pump the value of the coins they had. And we all know FTT token, that's the other one. Basically, you know, FTX's money printer, until they found out that you can't actually just keep printing into nothingness if no one's there to buy it. So the FTX collapse ultimately brought a lot of other cryptos down with it that it was pumping up and holding up itself that might not have actually had any true value to themselves to really be around. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, remember to smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.